Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Aziz, Samuel Abdul Aziz Bubaus, and today I will share with you the ultimate offshore banking script. I will reveal the advantages of having multiple bank accounts in different jurisdictions. I will share with you the best bank accounts in the world for business, for e-commerce, to cash out crypto, for asset protection. I will share with you the best countries for offshore banking. I will obviously explain you how to open all these bank accounts, and I will reveal the best credit cards in the world to fly first class for free, to stay in the best hotels for free, and to build the ultimate credit score for real estate financing and to buy companies. A few years ago, I was a young hustler in Germany. I was 20 years old. I made my first good money. I was happy, but then I got this huge tax bill from the tax office. And the tax office told me, you need to pay these taxes until next week. And if you don't pay these taxes, then we will block your bank account and seize your assets. And I was young and I was like, whoa. How is it possible? If they block my bank account, I can't protect my family, I can't buy myself food, I can't continue with my business. So this draconian government can't even wait for 2 or 3 weeks for this money to fund their wars and to make their unnecessary investments. And at this time I realized, wait, it's my fault. What if I would have at least one other bank account in another jurisdiction? This account, let's say in Singapore, wouldn't be blocked on the same day. And this is where I realized the power of offshore banking. So let's take a deep dive into the advantages of offshore banking. The first advantage is obviously diversification. I'm diversified in real estate, in crypto, in businesses, but I also like to be diversified with my bank accounts. And if you have bank accounts all over the world in safe jurisdictions, you are definitely diversified. And then you can go ahead and, for example, have 2 personal bank accounts, 1 corporate bank account in another jurisdiction, then in another jurisdiction you can have a bank account under your trust, in another jurisdiction maybe a bank account under your foundation, so you have different identities, and then you're definitely diversified with your money. Advantage number 2 is liquidity. I like to be liquid all over the world, because if I see a good company deal or off-plan deal tomorrow in Asia or in the Middle East, then I have a bank account there with cold hard cash, and I can enjoy this deal immediately and pay for it immediately, and the money will be there on the same day, while you see this deal and you have your money maybe in Europe or in America. And if it's a huge amount of money, it takes you maybe 1 or 2 or 3 weeks to send this money. Maybe you don't even have this money liquid on your bank account and this deal is already gone. So liquidity will definitely help you in business. And this is already the third advantage, and this is the business advantage. I see it almost every single day that high-level entrepreneurs are destroying their businesses because a payment provider is blocked or a bank account is blocked, and they basically can't continue with their business, or they can't receive payments somewhere, or that they can't pay for invoices somewhere. So they are completely restricted, and this is unacceptable for high-level entrepreneurs, because you need a good high-level banking infrastructure for your businesses. And if I look back of how I made it from zero in a German countryside to where I am today, then I definitely see a correlation with the banking infrastructure, because in almost every business that I did, from e-commerce to the businesses that I'm doing now, I always needed good banking. And if you have a good banking infrastructure, business will come to you, and when your banking doesn't work, no business will work at all. Advantage number 4 is proof of address and proof of funds. We live in a world where you need to send proof for almost everything nowadays, because you have this anti-money laundering guidelines and so on. And if you want to buy real estate, you want to buy a new citizenship, a new residency, you want to do a business deal, for almost everything nowadays you need to show them a proof of funds, because these governments and entities want to see where this money comes from, and that it's not money money laundering or from some criminal enterprises, and they will not accept your wallet, your ledger, as a proof of funds. They want to see cold hard cash and transactions in your bank accounts. And advantage number 5 of offshore banking is that you can get residence permits all over the world with simple bank deposits. So for example, if you put 130,000 US dollar into an Indonesian bank account, you get a 10-year golden visa. If you put 235,000 US dollar into a Malaysian bank account, you will get the Malaysia My Second Home program or the 20-year premium visa program. If you put 280,000 US dollar into a Thai bank account, you get the Thai investor residency. If you put 400,000 US dollar into a Turkish bank account, you will get Turkish residency and citizenship. If you put 500,000 euro into a Monaco bank account, you will get residency in Monaco. If you put 545,000 US dollar, which are 2 million dirham, into a UAE bank account, you get the UAE golden visa, and there are much more options in Europe, in Central America and South America to get residency. So let's take a deep dive into the best countries, the best jurisdictions, and the best bank accounts in the world for offshore banking. And we obviously have to start with the old money banking haven of Switzerland. Switzerland is a great banking jurisdiction because Switzerland is extremely safe, secure, and stable. You have banks which got already founded during the Napoleonic War. The big banks survived and prospered during the world wars. So Switzerland is definitely extremely safe, and they are extremely focused on ultra high net worth individuals. So almost every bank has a separate department for ultra high net worth individuals. They offer you club deals, which are basically off-market deals for real estate, for private equity, and so on. And the next advantage is that Switzerland is not only a safe, stable legacy country, but they are also adapting to the modern time. If I just take a look at where most new crypto banks are located, they are also in Switzerland. So Switzerland is extremely good and old school for asset protection, but they are also modern and safe for crypto and new projects and ventures. What are the weaknesses of Swiss banks? To be honest, I don't see many weaknesses. The only weakness is basically the barrier of entry. So you need to have a lot of money to get into the banking system, but this is normally the case for our clients. And some people complain that Swiss banks are not that flexible because they work old school. So if you enjoy asset protection there, they will basically tell you, give us your money, we handle it, we invest it, and don't ask us any stupid questions. So if you want to have self-directed investments and you want to have transparency in every detail, they will not like you. So these are the only weaknesses, but everything else is definitely great about Swiss banks. Which identity can you use to open Swiss bank accounts? You can obviously go ahead and just open a personal bank account. You can open a corporate bank account. You can open a bank account for your Cook Islands Trust. So we have a lot of clients who have a trust in the Cook Islands, and with this anonymous trust in the Cook Islands, they then go to Switzerland and open a Swiss bank account. You can open a Swiss bank account for your foundation and much more. How do you open Swiss bank accounts? Swiss banks obviously prefer clients from Europe, but they also accept clients from all over the world. This is why you see Swiss banks in many movies, because they accepted a lot of clients from America. So you can get a Swiss bank account from all over the world, and this is the next advantage, because since the COVID time, you can open Swiss bank accounts location independent online if you fulfill the requirements. So the average baseline is the Swiss banks will ask you for 1 million Swiss francs balance, minimum balance or bank deposit to open a bank account. There are some banks which already start at 500,000 Swiss francs, and some banks start at 5 million or even 15 million Swiss francs to take you as a client. So it really depends on the bank. They will ask you for the usual KYC, and they will ask you especially for your money. The process is not always always streamlined. So as I said, it's a little bit old school. So maybe you will sit with a banker and he will say, maybe 500,000 Swiss francs, maybe 2 million Swiss francs. Maybe we don't even want you as a client. So it's not that streamlined, but we created a streamlined process from wealthconsulting.com to give you a great onboarding process. And this is extremely important because to unlock the whole strengths of Swiss banking, you definitely need the right branch and the right banking relationship manager. Which banks do we from Wealth Consulting recommend? We always recommend Bank Vontobel because Bank Vontobel has the best IT platform. They're extremely crypto friendly. They even offer their own crypto projects, so definitely a great choice. You can choose Lombard Odier or Julius Baer if you want to have a great asset manager. You could also choose UBS if you just want to have the largest asset manager. They're a little bit struggling right now because they bought Credit Suisse, so there are some changes, but overall it's still a recommendation. And you have much more banks, crypto banks and fintech banks in Switzerland. You can even open your own bank in Switzerland if you want so. So when it comes to banking, Switzerland is definitely the land of opportunities. Which credit cards can you get in Switzerland? We can get you 1 month the American Express Black Centurion card if you put 1 million Swiss francs deposit into your bank account, but we need to say it's the European version of the American Express Black. And if you're into travel hacking, then you can obviously get all kinds of miles and more Star Alliance credit card. We can show you right now all airlines which participate in the Miles and More Star Alliance program, and then you can just use this credit card, get points, and then you can fly first class for free with airlines, for example, like Swiss Airlines, like Lufthansa, like Turkish Airways, like Thai Airways, or ANA, the Japanese Airways. Country jurisdiction number 2 is Liechtenstein, which is basically the small boutique alternative country for Switzerland. Liechtenstein is a small landlocked country between the borders of Switzerland and Austria. Liechtenstein is the country with the highest GDP per capita in the world, so it's definitely appreciated as an extremely stable, safe, secure and anonymous jurisdiction. We have a lot of clients who open bank accounts with LGT. We are talking about Liechtenstein Global Trust Bank, but our number one recommendation for Liechtenstein is Bank Frick, because Bank Frick is probably the most crypto friendly bank in the world. They are not just crypto friendly, they offer their own crypto projects. You can buy crypto and sell crypto through Bank Frick, extremely crypto friendly. And then they also act as a merchant account for e-commerce. So Bank Frick is basically the ultimate young hustler crypto e-commerce bank that you can find. Yes, they usually only accept clients from the European Economic Area, so from the European Union, from Switzerland, from Liechtenstein and from the United Kingdom, but they also accept clients from Hong Kong and from Singapore. Bank Frick will usually ask you for 500,000 euro minimum balance, and you can open bank accounts for your personal banking, you can open corporate bank accounts, and you can also open bank accounts for your crypto company. Country jurisdiction number 3 is Singapore. Singapore is basically the new Switzerland of Asia. Singapore is also extremely appreciated as an extremely safe and stable and secure jurisdiction. We have ultra high net worth clients who set up family offices there with 250 million US dollar under management. This should show you the range and the safety of Singapore. They have also some advantages compared to Switzerland, for example, because Singapore is a little bit more new and modern. So from my experience, the average online banking works the best in Singapore, especially also if you're non-resident in Singapore. So Singapore is definitely a huge recommendation. Weakness, the same like Switzerland, you need money to get into the system, but no other weakness at all. Which identity can you use to open your bank account in Singapore? You can open personal bank accounts, you can open corporate bank accounts. Then we have a lot of clients who set up an anonymous JAFSA offshore company in the UAE, and with this offshore company in the UAE, you can also open a bank account in Singapore. You can also open an offshore company in Singapore and have banking there, but it's not as anonymous as when you have your offshore company in the UAE and you're banking in Singapore. And this also brings the next advantage, that you have banking and management in two different jurisdictions, which will bring you even more safety and asset protection. How do you open bank accounts in Singapore? This is what I love about Singapore, because Singapore is just extremely transactional and streamlined. So there's no messing around with, we need to see, let's figure out. It's all crystal clear. You want to have priority banking as a non-resident, give us $350,000 minimum balance on your bank account. You want to have private banking, then you need $5 million bank balance on your bank account. So very simple. They will ask you for the usual KYC. I made the experience that if you have a residency in Asia, for example, like the Thai Elite visa, it's even more easy to open a bank account there. But overall, if you bring the money and if you have a clean criminal record, you will get the banking in Singapore. Very simple. Which banks do I recommend in Singapore? The number one bank is DBS, because DBS is crowned every single year as the best bank in the world with the best technology platform. They're extremely crypto friendly. They offer multi-currency accounts with 14 different currencies, so definitely a great bank. Another alternative bank would be UOB, United Overseas Bank. I also love UOB because, for example, if I'm in Hong Kong or if I'm in Thailand, I just see UOB ATMs and branches all over Asia. So once you start with UOB, you basically have great banking and banking relationships and banking credibility all over Asia. Which credit cards can you get in Singapore? You can also get, obviously, an American Express. If you are into travel hacking, you can get the American Express KrisFlyer card, or you can get the UOB KrisFlyer card, which is connected to Singapore Airways. Same way, you just get this card and then you level up, you use this card, get points and miles, and then you can fly first class for free with Singapore Airlines, for example, with the Singapore Suites from Singapore to London. Now you already have great banking in Europe and you have high-level banking in Asia. So what's next? Next are the United Arab Emirates, the Singapore and Switzerland of the Middle East. UAE banking is extremely great if you want to live in the Middle East, invest in the Middle East, do business in the Middle East. So definitely a great choice. The reputation is not on the level as Swiss banking or Singapore banking, but overall, if you live here, if you have the right banking tier, if you have the right banking relationship manager, then your experience will be like the Emirates first class flights, the Etihad first class flights, the best experience in the world. So definitely a big recommendation. How do you open bank accounts in the UAE? If you get your residence permit here, so you get your Emirates ID and you bring a proof of address, then you can open personal bank accounts very easily. It's not a huge problem. Many people complain about opening corporate bank accounts. They say it's not possible, the bank rejected us and so on, and I see it almost every single day, and I think 80-90% of people who move to the UAE and set up a company have this problem here. But honestly guys, it's not a problem. The problem is that most of you set up a UAE company completely wrong, and that's why I always tell you guys, just visit us at the Emirates Towers here in Dubai in our office and choose a good corporate service provider like Wealth Corporate Services Provider, and we set up the company right. And if you have the right company set up with the right history that we can prove the right documents, we go to the bank and you will get the bank account at the same day. It's not that difficult. And the personal bank accounts you can even open without any deposit, and you can even get priority banking without deposit, and the banks will usually ask you for 500,000 dirham minimum balance or bank deposit for your corporate bank account, but it really depends on your activity. which banks do I recommend here in the UAE. You can get started with VIO Personal, VIO Business, but to build a real credit score and to get a real bank account, I recommend to you ADCB and Emirates NBD, my two favorite banks here in the UAE. Emirates NBD is great because they probably have the best online banking, the best app. Emirates NBD is more and more becoming a global bank, so the UAE is obviously developing, as you can see, all the years. So now I was in Saudi Arabia for 3 weeks and I saw Emirates NBD ATMs all over Saudi Arabia. Then I was in London and I saw Emirates NBD branch there. So it's becoming a global bank, so definitely great. And the other bank is ADCB. I nowadays tend to use ADCB even more than Emirates NBD because the bankers and my banking relationship there is just the best. And if you have the right banking relationship and the right setup, then you will not have any issue to cash out crypto, to finance real estate, to get corporate bank accounts. It's just all about connections here in the UAE. Credit cards. Which credit cards can you get in the UAE? The UAE are the marketing hotspot of the world. So you have obviously a lot of branded credit cards in this country. We start with the obvious credit cards, which is the American Express. We can also get you an American Express Black here in the UAE. Then if you love to fly with Emirates, that's what I love, for example, about Dubai. You just have this great Emirates Suites flight to every location all over the world. Then you can get the Emirates Skywards card from Emirates NBD, and you just use this card and you automatically level up with your status at Emirates. You become silver member, then gold member, then platinum member. And if you just log in into your account and you use this card a lot of times, and this is also great because they have a personal card and a corporate card, then you will have so much points and you can just redeem it for these flights. Etihad offers exactly the same from ADCB. So ADCB has the Etihad guest card, and then you can fly, for example, with Etihad the resident from UAE to London, which is even higher than first class. Etihad has a great new terminal in Abu Dhabi. So not only Dubai is developing, but Abu Dhabi is obviously developing and absolutely great. So that's why I just love the Middle East and why I love the UAE. And then you have much more options. We can show you right now all participating hotels of the Marriott Bonvoy program. So if you like to stay in one of these hotels, then you can get the Marriott Bonvoy card from Emirates NBD. Then we can show you right now all participating hotels of the Al Accor Life Limitless program. And if you like to stay, for example, in Banyan Tree or in Raffles or in one of these other hotels, then you can get the Al Accor Life Limitless card from ADCB. Then there's an Uber Imar card from Emirates NBD that I use, and much more. And I love this card and I love to use this banking because many of you just need a residence somewhere, and the UAE is still the best place to get your residency. And then you want to leverage your real estate investments and to buy companies, so you need to build a good credit score. And that's why you just pay yourself every month a fixed amount of salary, you use your cards and you build a high level credit score, and then you have a good banking relationship, and the bank will be your best friend to help you with buying real estate and with buying companies. So now you have high level banking in Europe, high level banking in Asia, high level banking in the Middle East. So what's left? Left are the United States of America, the world leader and hidden gem, the secret place for non-US citizens, non-US residents. There are many things that I don't like about the US when it comes to the values, when it comes to the politics, but if you see things from a neutral perspective, then you need to agree that the US still has the best business banking system in the world. It's just the best place to get rich fast, the best place. I mean, it's just so easy to open a company, to open banking, location independent, a few clicks, then you can get financing. It's just crazy. You can build such a high level credit score. For example, now I have a new company since 1 year, which makes around $3 million per month. And now I can get $12 million financing to acquire new companies. And then I buy these new companies with these unsecured loans, which don't even have that much risk. And then I have more companies and I can finance even more and buy more companies. So it's just this whole system of the US is just great and so useful, especially if you're non-US resident, because you don't have taxes, you have anonymity, and this is definitely the setup that we normally always do for our non-US clients. So we go to the US, you don't even need to go there, you can do everything online, location independent, open an anonymous company in Wyoming, and then you can get an anonymous company bank account in the US and a personal bank account. So the strength is that these banks are just so useful because you can use it for e-commerce, you can use it to cash out crypto, you can use it because of the anonymity for asset protection, you can use it for huge transactions, you can use it to build the craziest credit score in the world, you can use this bank account as a proof of funds, proof of address all over the world because it's accepted everywhere. You can use it for so many things, so that's why it's just extremely useful to get your banking in the US. It's so useful because they don't even have data exchange to any country all over the world. So every country around the world need to exchange data to the US, but the US doesn't need to exchange data to anyone. So it's huge asset protection. It's basically just everything. So when it just comes to the banking business perspective, US banking is maybe not on the list of the safest #1 bank in the world, but it's just extremely useful. How do you open bank accounts in the United States of America? It obviously depends if you're US citizen or non-US citizen. We are now just focused on the non-US citizen, non-US residents. You just open a company online, and after 3 weeks you can open the bank accounts with your tax number. You can get started very fast, easily with some fintech bank accounts like Mercury or Relay, which are connected to Evolve Bank and Trust. But in the long run, I can definitely recommend you to fly to the US one time and open a good bank account, for example with Goldman Sachs or Chase JP Morgan. And if you don't like to fly there, then we can even give you a bank relationship manager who manages your bank account there, and then you don't even need to fly there, and you can get local bank accounts even faster. But you just need to agree that one person will basically manage your account. So what are the best banks? Like I already told you, I like Goldman Sachs, but my favorite bank is Chase JP Morgan. Great bankers. It's the largest bank in the world. They are accepted everywhere. Transactions work perfectly. Online banking works perfectly. Just everything works great. So it's definitely a huge recommendation for business to cash out crypto, for your personal bank account. So you have a personal bank account in Chase and it's connected to your corporate bank account, or it doesn't need to be connected. You just have all options in this country, and that's why I still recommend the US to our clients. Which credit cards can you get in the United States of America? Obviously American Express Black Centurion card with us, or you can get, for example, the Chase Sapphire card, and then just do your business there, use the credit cards, build a high-level credit score, and just use this system as long as you can, as long as it still works. From anonymity to financing companies, it just works for absolutely everything. And you can obviously just go to wealthconsulting.com, book a call with us to get more information of all the secret advantages of this system. And now you have high-level banking in Europe, high-level banking in Asia, high-level banking in the Middle East, high-level banking in the US. What's left? Left the post-Soviet Union countries, which could be a nice add-on to this system. So these 4 places are the best, but many people do business in Soviet Union, post-Soviet Union countries, and it's much better to have banking there in this case. So you could get banking, for example, in Armenia, but I usually always recommend Georgia, the post-Soviet financial banking center. A few years ago, I was at the Biltmore Hotel in Tbilisi, beautiful city, feels a little bit like middle age, and I just walked out of this Biltmore Hotel and I saw this small branch of Bank of Georgia, and it was a few hours before I had to fly to Turkey, and I thought, you know what, I heard that these bank accounts are anonymous. By the way, they are not anonymous anymore. Now they are part of the common reporting standard, but still great. And I went to this branch and I said, hey, I want to open a bank account. What do I need? And it took me 10 minutes to open a bank account. I gave them my passport. I had to fill out one form. No KYC, nothing, to be honest. And at the same day, 10 minutes later, I got this card from Bank of Georgia. And this is why we still recommend Georgian banks, because it's simply a country where the bank account opening is the easiest in the world. You need your passport and that's it. And there's Bank of Georgia and there's TBC, 2 banks that I recommend, 2 banks which are getting better and better. The weakness is the online banking, and some things are still not working that great as in the jurisdictions that I recommended you before, but it's getting better and better. And you can open a bank account with Bank of Georgia or TBC without any deposit, but if you want to have an American Express card, they will ask you usually for 30,000 US dollar bank deposit or minimum balance, and if you want to have private banking, they will ask you for 900,000 US dollar minimum balance. So great choice for private banking, Bank of Georgia and TBC. And now we really covered almost every place all over the world. We have high-level banking all over the world, high-level credit score all over the world, asset protection all over the world with the right system. So can we do something else? I mean, we can open a bank account, for example, in the Cook Islands, which is the South Pacific Trust and Banking Haven. We have a lot of clients who have trusts in the Cook Islands, and then they can open either a bank account in Switzerland, which is good to have a bank account in another jurisdiction to have an extra layer of asset protection, but you can also just open a bank account in the Cook Islands. There are great banks in the Cook Islands, and then you can use it for your Cook Islands Trust Anonymous or for your Cook Islands LLC. And our number one recommendation in the Cook Islands is the Capital Security Bank, because the bank is extremely flexible. They will ask you for 200,000 minimum balance, but you can just directly take it if you don't want to keep your money there, and you can have self-directed investments and ETFs and so on. So definitely a great bank. And what's obviously great about the Cook Islands is that you can do absolutely everything location independent online. You don't need to fly to the Cook Islands. This is definitely great. Okay guys, now we really covered every place in this world. There are a few more honorable mentions, and this is number one, ING Netherlands, if you need banking in the European Union, because there you can get for 500,000 euro bank balance private banking, which is definitely the most affordable high-level private banking in Europe with ING Netherlands. And we also sometimes use or recommend TD Bank in Canada to cash out crypto. If you set up a crypto company, for example, in Canada, or if you set up a Canada LLP tax-free, then you can use TD Bank Canada. And these are all banks for today. So I hope this video could help you guys, and I hope this video didn't confuse you, but you know, I like to give you the full answer, all informations that you need. So we have many people who told me they were researching for 10-15 years and I just summarized everything in one video. But if you need to have more clarity, then you can just go to wealthconsulting.com and book a call with us, and we will create the ultimate blueprint for you depending on your situation. And we will not just create this blueprint, but we can also help you to open these identities, to open these companies, and to get all these bank accounts immediately from our high-level network. So guys, I hope this video could help you. Write your questions into the comments. So I would say see you in the call, see you in the next video, or see you in real life.